When I was 8 years old, I was diagnosed with leukemia. I was told that I would basically not be able to walk ever again and I would need the assistance of a wheelchair. I used that as kind of motivation to try to at least give myself a chance. I broke all the provincial record at the time, which then qualified me to represent Team Canada at Worlds.
運動係好多加拿大人嘅共同話題。溫哥華地理同埋氣候宜人，好適宜進行唔同種類嘅運動，例如划艇、滑雪、冰上曲棍球等等。今日想同大家介紹一樣比較冷門嘅運動 powerlifting。powerlifting 中文叫健力，同舉重相似，但係形式唔同。健力運動有3個項目：樽舉、硬舉同埋卧舉。樽舉 squat 就係拎住有重量嘅槓深蹲，然後企返起身。硬舉 deadlift 就係將槓從地上拎起，企起身。卧舉 bench press 就係瞓喺張凳上面舉起槓。健力比賽嘅流程係每個動作各舉3次，每次重量可以增加，唔可以減少。最後以單項同埋總和決定名次，舉得最重嘅運動員就能夠獲得勝利。今集嘅主角 Vincent 係一名健力運動員，年紀輕輕，好有天分。佢能夠由地區嘅比賽到代表加拿大去參賽，確實係一個奇蹟。
When I was 8 years old, I was diagnosed with leukemia, and that basically stunted a huge part of my life to where I wasn't able to do a lot of things. Obviously, I didn't know what cancer or leukemia was before then. It was just a lot of pain in my legs and my lower back. I remember the way that we actually found out was one night I just had excruciating pain in my legs and my lower back, and I couldn't feel anything.And it just went on for a very long time, and then we eventually went to the hospital.
即係我初頭以為佢係細路仔扭計啊嗰啲咁樣，帶咗佢去急症室。急症室咧就話佢因為佢係飲水唔夠多啫，所以佢會骨痛，咁就試過幾次都咁翻嚟，我就好嬲咁話：點解你成日唔飲水啊？佢成日真係飲好少水，咁咧就唔知道佢原來係咁嚴重嘅。
咁直至到第4個禮拜係6月12號嗰日。咁嗰晚佢又係痛得好犀利，咁我哋又返兒童醫院。其實因為去兒童醫院咧，我哋去咗3次嘅，醫生就覺得唔係尋常喎，應該係有問題喎。咁當晚咧，佢就即刻咧 refer 咗我哋睇 oncology 嘅醫生。咁第2朝醫生一早就嚟同我哋講，
佢就話俾我聽 ，Vincent 唔係普通嘅病，係有血癌。咁我同我太太即時就喊咗出嚟啦。即係接受唔到，突然之間一個咁健康、咁活潑嘅小朋友，點解會突然之間有咁嘅問題呢？喺嗰刻係其實好傷心嘅，同埋好似有啲情緒失控啊！好似所有嘢都突然之間喺嗰一個期間發生。咁我喺個仔有事嘅1個禮拜之前，啱啱被裁員啦，就冇咗份工，就好彷徨嘅。到個仔被即係diagnose咗話有血癌嘅時候，我問醫生係乜嘢理由，醫生話血癌係冇得解釋嘅，亦都唔知係咩原因。我就開始諗翻係咪我自己喺宗教信仰方面係自己做得唔係咁好咧？由細到大我係帶我個女同埋我個仔翻去教會，俾佢哋翻主日學，每個禮拜如是。但係我同我太太咧擺低咗佢哋之後咧，我哋自己就去行街。我哋從來唔會返教會，因為我覺得冇咁嘅需要，我生活得幾好啊。咁我就於是走咗去問黃牧師，如果我而家醒覺，我會唔會太遲咧？會唔會好似係 take advantage 我而家臨急先至嚟揾返神咧？黃牧師就話唔會，每個人都有佢嘅時間表，神嘅安排就係好奇妙嘅。咁於是乎喺嗰刻咧，我就決定將我全家都帶返去主耶穌嘅身邊。
我好 appreciate 呢度兒童醫院，好快就安排到 Vincent 喺3日之後咧就可以第一次做到 chemo treatment。喺嗰3日之內咧， 牧師咧第一時間就嚟咗醫院就探望我哋，就俾咗我哋第一個我哋認識神嘅機會，就話俾我哋聽，唔使擔心，我哋會幫你祈禱，神會保守我哋嘅。咁所以咧，我哋咧唔知個心咧就已經好似已經有少少交託。
無論係去醫院探佢啦，或者家訪啊等等咧，都時常即係將呢個嘅福音嘅信息同佢哋傳開。喺呢段嘅時間嘅裏邊咧，可能係重新嘅去整頓佢自己信仰一啲嘅問題，咁亦都係見到即係神一路嘅聽佢哋嘅禱告，同埋教會弟兄姊妹嘅關心，咁佢哋就慢慢就參加教會啦。
After I got diagnosed, my parents got a lot more involved with the church, and because they were very supportive, and I believe that's when we started to go more religiously, or they did, and they told me more about it, and I started learning more, and that's when I actually started believing.
縱然認識咗主耶穌，但係佢同屋企人嘅困難並冇一下子消失。Vincent 面對4年化療嘅過程，一啲都唔容易。咁
我哋嗰陣時咧，當係一個長嘅傷風感冒，係比較辛苦啲嘅傷風感冒，去醫佢咯。咁當然啦，啲傷風感冒藥咧就係用 chemo treatment 咯，就比較辛苦啲咯。
I just remember every single time that I had to do my chemotherapy session, if I was able to, they would put me in, they call it the game room, where there's a bunch of kids and they have a bunch of stuff that preoccupies your mind, so then you're not really paying attention to it. When they're giving the medication, you don't really feel too much, you just feel tired. But afterwards, that's when the pain and you just feel tired all the time and you have no energy. And for me, a lot of the stuff that I ate, it just didn't taste like anything.
不斷我都會係懷疑，不斷都會有沮喪，不斷都會有問神啊，點解你會有咁嘅安排俾我呢？如果你見到自己個仔係原本係好活潑開朗，變成一個身體咁差，即係佢最弱嗰段時間係連行幾步路佢都覺得係好有困難。以前係跳嚟跳去、飛嚟飛去嘅，佢係行5分鐘、10分鐘就已經係好支持得好辛苦，
係冇精神，成日都係個口爛，條脷生晒飛滋，食唔到嘢，飲唔到水，吞唔到嘢。
太細個啦，佢唔識得點樣去面對佢呢個病，甚至乎連食嗰啲藥咧，佢都唔識點樣吞啊，唔識點樣控制佢個情緒啦。咁變咗係有一段時間佢都係好失控嘅。有時候真係發緊脾氣就係阿仔，你唔食啲藥你會死嘅。咁樣同一個8歲嘅小朋友，我都唔知點解我會講出啲咁嘅説話。你唔食會死嘅，但佢係完全唔理，佢喊我又喊，即係嗰啲情景仲喺度歷歷在目。即係經歷過一啲咁嘅經歷咧，覺得好難受嘅喺嗰段階段裏邊，無時無刻我做下嘢，突然間一個電話話佢情況變得好差，咁啊即刻我又要去返醫院度。
咁我哋一返醫院咧，就最少10至14日嘅。
All I can remember is the constant pain in my lower body and my lower back. I was just thinking, I want this to be over, and I want to go back to my regular life.
4年嘅化療，不停咁來回醫院，唔單止奪去咗佢嘅健康，仲令 Vincent 失去咗呢個年紀應有嘅社交生活。
I see all of my friends having fun at school, being able to do things that I wish I could do, but I can't do anything. I can't really move. I don't have the energy to even bring myself to walk myself to the washroom. I'd have to be in a wheelchair and someone would have to push me.
9歲左右、10歲左右咧，其實喺好多小朋友階段嚟講咧，應該返學學嘢，喺學校同好多小朋友一齊跑嚟跑去玩嘅，但係佢自己一個人咧，只可以留喺屋企。嗰陣時我都好 feel guilty 咧，就點解 Vincent 會有呢個病咧？佢冇咗自己嘅 school life 啦，冇咗自己嘅 peer group 啦，只可以咧就係每一日要準時食藥，身體係有痛。點解會接受呢咁嘅痛苦呢？
雖然有好多困難，但係 Vincent 透過信仰同埋身邊嘅家人朋友陪伴佢一步步走過療程嘅痛苦。
One night, having no motivation at all, and then just remembering that there is someone out there that is going to be there for me regardless of anything that happens, and knowing that God will always be there for me and to comfort me even if everything else was not available. Having that connection with all of the good people at church and having that spiritual connection with God made going through all this stuff a lot easier. Every once in a while when I was able to go back to school and church, people would treat me with like more kindness or more acceptance. It was just, I felt a lot more welcomed in the environment that I was in, especially at church. Everyone was a lot more considerate of my condition and how I felt and stuff like that. So whenever I would need anything, everyone would always be willing to help me.
正當 Vincent 以為醫好血癌就可以過返正常嘅生活，但係佢嘅身體又出現另一個變化。
年幾之後咧，突然間佢話：媽咪，我手較位啊、腳較位啊、hip 位呢度咧好痛啊！咁我哋初頭都以為淨係個 chemotherapy 嘅藥令到佢唔舒服，冇事。咁點知醫生就幫佢照個 CT scan， 就睇到佢啲 blood vessel 咧喺嗰個位置咧就已經係枯死咗，係啲血唔流通，咁所以咧就令到佢痛。咁嗰陣時我哋又嚟另外一個震驚啦，諗住 leukemia 能夠醫得好。點解又會嚟個骨枯呢？醫生話唔緊要，我哋有藥幫佢醫嘅。咁但係呢隻藥咧，如果醫得好咧，一次就得㗎啦。如果做完第一次療程，佢都仲係痛嘅咧，就冇辦法㗎啦。佢呢個骨枯咧就唔可以 gone away， 成世都會跟住佢。不過事與願違 ，Vincent 嘅骨枯喺第一次療程之後並冇任何改善。心痛嘅媽媽再三請求醫生俾 Vincent 做多次治療。最後做咗4次都唔成功。暗裏的那光已看不見嗎？信心也必遠發，更捉緊十架。那關口一不暫停，未來得不到保證。神你恩典統領。必不看輕，暗裏的那光，作我的靠倚，承諾從沒變化，你應許在此。縱使世界已變樣，願重新找到方向。讓我堅守這信仰，憑信必可跨過打這一仗。患病嘅過程同埋信心一樣起起跌跌，不過經歷神嘅保守同埋帶領，繼續幫助 Vincent 一家緊緊倚靠神。
來來回回經歷咗差唔多4年，臨到最拉尾3年幾4年嘅時候，佢開始好轉啦。咁但係已經因為嗰個病嘅煎熬啊，各樣嘢咧，佢有一個好健康嘅8歲嗰個形象咧，因為嗰啲化療藥同埋嗰啲類固醇對佢身體做咗好多副作用，佢就變咗一個大肥仔。
When I was able to leave the hospital fully and go back to start my regular life again. And I remember when I first started grade 7, everything was not the way that I remembered. School was a lot harder than I remembered. Walking was difficult, breathing was difficult. I couldn't really stay awake in class or like in public or anywhere because I just didn't have that energy yet. My body wasn't used to the amount of things that I had to do in a day. So I took everything really slow, and it was a really low point in my life because I was, on one end, I was finally cured of cancer, but on the other end, I was told that I would basically not be able to walk ever again and I would need the assistance of a wheelchair. And just having to fight that, being able to pray every night and then eventually start seeing results, like feeling less pain in my body, feeling more motivated, having more energy, waking up actually happy. I feel like my prayers were answered and that something was finally starting to go well in my life.
雖然血癌醫好咗，仍然有骨枯同埋骨質疏鬆嘅問題，但係 Vincent 拒絕接受終身需要坐輪椅嘅結果。加上佢好鍾意運動， 於是不斷嘗試用唔同嘅方法鍛鍊身體。
I did not want to have to be stuck in a wheelchair, and at that time I was severely overweight. I think I was like the highest point was 190 pounds, and I was 5'5" maybe. So it just made life really difficult. Breathing was hard, walking hurt. I couldn't stand for more than 5 minutes at a time without it being extremely painful. So I knew if I didn't do something about it now, I would never be able to do anything about it in the future. At first, I just did stuff at home. I just walked around the house and stuff. And then when I was able to fully walk again, I went to the gym, and I started off with, I believe it was just swimming, because swimming is really good for the joints and all of that stuff. So that's the only thing that I started off with. I used to really love sports, and even after I was diagnosed and I was going through my recovery, I still, even though I wasn't able to move around necessarily, I still really wanted to be a part of different sports teams.
7年班開始嗰陣時咧玩 OT， 佢開始玩嗰陣時咧佢玩唔到㗎。同學仔跑嗰陣時咧佢只可以行，佢係慢慢跑慢慢跑。咁但係咧對佢嚟講咧，佢可能佢因為中意呢個運動，咁佢就算痛咧，佢都話媽咪我痛，但我都會繼續跑。
And then as time went on, my friends who were already in the gym, they helped me out. They showed me what to do, how to properly work out, so how to use like the fitness equipment, like the bicycles, the weight machines and stuff like that. And I just slowly got into that. I saw and felt the decrease of pain and like my increase in energy. So I knew this was something that was working. And then slowly as I saw the progress, it was more, I want to go to the gym. And then it got to a point where if I didn't go to the gym, it felt wrong because it was already a part of my daily schedule.
Vincent 由少少開始做起，都好有規律咁做運動。喺一個暑假裏面，佢瘦咗65磅。高中第一日返學嘅時候，佢終於接觸到一項深深吸引佢嘅運動。
After school, I walked into the weight room, and there was a senior there, and he was a powerlifter, and I just saw him pull 500 pounds off the floor like it was nothing, and that instantly captivated my attention. I instantly fell in love with that, and then that's when I discovered like the fitness side of stuff on YouTube, because before that YouTube was just like for funny videos and like just random stuff. But then after he introduced me to powerlifting, that's when I discovered all of these like fitness content creators and all these people that were a lot of motivation to why I wanted to start and how I was able to start.
當佢話俾我聽14、15歲嗰陣時，佢話：媽咪，我中意做舉重喎而家。我話唔好舉重喎，你啲骨好脆弱㗎咋，仲有你啲骨咧裡面咧有好多都係枯死咗㗎，你唔可以玩㗎。我驚你整親之後咧，啲骨碎咗咧，你到時真係連行都行唔到，我哋好擔心㗎。咁所以咧，講喺第一刻咧，我同我先生 Billy 咧，就其實唔係鼓勵，係有少少 discourage 佢嘅。
父母嘅勸告並冇阻止 Vincent 對健力運動嘅熱情。讀高中嘅佢繼續喺學校練習，仲將自己舉重嘅影片放上網，好多人都嘖嘖稱奇。有學長見到，覺得佢好有天分，就鼓勵佢參加比賽。Vincent 都開始見到自己喺呢一方面嘅天分，可惜疫情肆虐，佢嘅第一個比賽取消咗，所有嘅健身室都被迫關閉。
咁佢開始嗰陣時話：媽咪，我都好中意玩 gym， 但係而家因為 pandemic 我冇得出去玩。咁我話：咁咪好咯，咁咪休息下咯，唔好玩啦，我擔心你啲骨唔得啊。點知佢就話：唔係喎，我可以自己喺屋企玩嘅喎。咁佢好搞笑㗎，佢攞支地拖棍將個地拖掹開咗，攞咗2包20公斤嘅米，就一頭一尾就喺個露台度就自己喺度練習舉。我話：阿仔，你點解咁有毅力嘅
？Just focusing on hinging a bit more. Yeah, there you go. Just in contact with your shins.
Okay. Was that better?
Yeah, and then also just keeping the bar close to your shins. A bit closer.
Even closer?
He's a very hardworking athlete. I can just see that he was just very focused at powerlifting at the time. Yeah, he's definitely come a long ways in terms of just being committed and just dedicated to the sport, even outside the gyms. I know this kind of all has to do with his ambition in terms of like one thing helping another thing, and I can just tell he gives like a lot of heart, like everything that he does, you know, give it 100%, kind of not take like shortcuts or anything like that. So he went to like one of the high stages in powerlifting.
Vincent 對呢項運動嘅熱愛同埋毅力感動咗佢嘅父母支持，就喺屋企地牢設置咗自己嘅健身室。終於喺疫情放緩之後嘅第一個比賽取得驕人成績，佢打破咗省級臥舉嘅紀錄，總成績排第2。
So that first competition led me to qualifying meet for nationals, and I broke a lot of my own personal records. And then at nationals, I ended up moving up a weight class, and that's where everything changed for my powerlifting career, because I ended up placing first, and I broke all the provincial records for squat, bench, and deadlift, and the total provincial record at the time too, which then qualified me to represent Team Canada at Worlds. It was a surreal moment. It didn't feel real at first. When I first went to the gym, it was more of just to become healthy again and to be able to lose the fat on my body that was suppressing me from doing anything. And then that all eventually led up to where I am now, which I never would have thought was possible. And honestly, I still don't really know how it's possible, because we took an MRI, I think 2 or 3 years ago, and my body showed the exact same as it was when I was diagnosed with osteoporosis and avascular necrosis. So the blood vessels in my bones and my joints and stuff are all still as dead as they were back then, but yet somehow I'm able to do what I'm able to do, which leads me to believe that this is definitely a miracle from God, and which is why I believe so much.
生命上邊嘅一個好艱難嘅課題啦，冇人中意面對好多嘅呢啲咁辛酸嘅事情啦。但係好多時候，即係身為一牧者，無論係Billy 一家或者係 Vincent 嘅身上，或者其他教會嘅弟兄姊妹，都係同樣嘅翻一個嘅結論，就係話神往往係用呢啲嘅苦難嚟到磨練，跟住咧嚟到祝福佢自己嘅兒女。咁呢樣咧我自己係好能夠感受得到。
God gave me the second chance to not only spread His word and being able to tell everyone about the miracle that He performed on me, but also to just being able to spread my experience and how I went through all that. Obviously, lifting is a big part of my life, but a bigger part of my life is being able to try to help motivate and being able to inspire people who were or are in similar situations that I was in. As long as I'm able to be that motivation to other people, that would be enough for me.
Vincent 8歲就患上血癌，有骨質疏鬆同埋骨枯，但係神藉住 Vincent 嘅病，讓佢一家認識耶穌基督。雖然醫生診斷佢嘅骨骼仍然係枯死嘅狀態，但係神讓佢可以回復正常生活，甚至可以喺佢喜愛嘅健力運動中取得美好嘅成績。因着 Vincent 嘅經歷，讓佢哋一家體會到無論發生任何事，神都能夠成為佢哋嘅倚靠。如果你都正面對困難，想認識 Vincent 所倚靠嘅主耶穌基督，請你而家就致電恩語生命熱線，或者登入恩語之聲嘅網頁同我哋聯絡，我哋好樂意同你分享基督信仰。願神賜福你。
暗裏的那光，已看不見嗎？信心也必遠發，更捉緊十架。那罐口一不暫停，未來得不到保證。神你恩典統領，必不看輕。暗裏的那光，作我的靠倚。承諾從沒變化，你應許在此。縱使世界 願重新找到方向，讓我堅守這信仰，憑信必可跨。
福音可以透過電視、電台、網絡平台送到世界各地，進入千家萬戶。
有那種馬上覺得被愛的感覺。
福音可以藉着傾聽關懷、聚會分享，滋潤乾渴彷徨嘅心靈。
我依家覺得自己有個盼望喺度。
福音可以因着你對恩雨嘅禱告、支持同埋奉獻，傳揚得更廣更遠。